This is the most important credit change in decades, and almost nobody understands what's really happening. President Donald Trump is pushing a policy that could quietly rewrite how credit cards, debt, and how credit scores work in America. Not next week, not someday, January 20th, 2026.
We're putting a one-year cap at 10%, and that's it. They know it. They've really abused the public. The credit card companies have totally abused. I'm not going to let it happen. Well, then they're in violation of the law. Very severe things. No, I want a cap on credit card interest rates.
If this goes through, millions of Americans could pay off debt dramatically faster, see credit scores rise without disputing anything, and finally escape high-interest credit card traps. But here's the part that nobody is saying out loud. Banks are already preparing to fight back, and their counter move could lock people out of credit completely. So today, we're gonna be breaking down what this policy really does, why Wall Street hates it, who benefits immediately, who gets crushed if they're not ready, and why this could create a permanent credit divide. Now this is important. If you've ever carried a balance, missed a payment, or worried about your credit score, you need to hear this all the way through. Make sure to comment January 20th if you're still watching this by the end. First, let's cover what Trump is actually proposing in plain English. So let's cut through all the noise.
We're putting a one-year cap at 10%, and that's it. They know it. They've really abused the public. The credit card companies have totally abused. I'm not going to let it happen.
The proposal is a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%, beginning January 20th, 2026, lasting 1 full year. That's it. Simple, explosive, and right now, the average credit card APR sits at around 20 to 22%. However, many people with average or below average credit pay between 25 to 30%. Some store cards push even higher of 30+% interest rates, which is absolutely crazy. And that means a massive portion of every payment is pure interest, not debt reduction. At 10%, interest drops instantly. Payments start attacking balances, which is the best part about this, and debt timelines shrink overnight. That's why this matters. Now let's talk about why this is really about credit scores. Here's where most people misunderstand what's actually happening, because this isn't just about saving money. This is about credit scores moving without disputes, letters, or gimmicks. Credit scores are driven by two things: payment history, which is 35%, credit utilization, which is 30%. That's 65% of your entire credit score. Now, high interest rates keep balances high, slow payoff, and increase minimum payments and cause missed late payments. Now, on the other hand, lower interest rates reduce balances faster, improve utilization, stabilize monthly payments, and protect payment history. And this is the biggest part of all, because that means scores rise naturally. No hacks, no tricks, just simple math. I want you to pause for a second and think about this. How many people do you know stuck paying interest forever? Make sure to drop a comment if this does sound familiar to you. Now let's talk about the debt reality nobody escapes. Let's talk real numbers, because feelings don't matter here. The average American carries about $7,000 in credit card debt, which is massive. At today's rates, borrowers pay $900 to $1,100 every year in just interest. Most payments barely touch principal, and debt becomes permanent. At 10%, annual interest drops closer to about $500 to $600. Hundreds more go towards balance reduction, and payoff timelines accelerate. It's the perfect actual recipe. And this is exactly why banks are furious, because interest isn't a side business, interest is the business. And when I talked about this last week, I think a lot of people misunderstood. They felt like I was on the side of the banks. Why would you think I'm on the side of the banks? I'm not on the side of the banks. I hate the banks. I fight against the banks every day. I teach people how to fix their credit and beat the banks. So no, I don't want the banks to win. I want you to win. We need to talk about why banks are panicking, because this is critical. Credit card companies don't make money when you swipe. They make money when you carry a balance. A 10% cap shrinks profit margins, destroys risk-based pricing, and forces lenders to rethink approvals. So what do banks do when profits are threatened? They don't lose money, they change the rules. And that means stricter approvals, lower limits, more denials, higher barriers for risky borrowers. This is where the story flips. Now, of course, we need to talk about the dangerous side effects nobody is talking about, because I'm gonna give you every possible scenario of the positive and the negative, so you are prepared no matter what. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with the 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Luis. Luis's credit score went up 261 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Jency's credit score went up 225 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget James. James's credit score went up 207 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. This is the part that could hurt millions of Americans. If banks tighten lending, people don't stop borrowing. They get pushed into different types of lending. Buy now, pay later, payday loans, alternative lenders. These products often don't help credit scores. They can trap borrowers in cycles and offer no long-term stability. So while this policy helps existing cardholders, it can quietly lock out people who aren't credit ready. And this is exactly why preparation matters more than politics. Make sure to comment the word ready if you understand this risk. But of course, let's talk about who wins and who loses. But first, we're gonna talk about the people who win. Those with existing credit cards, borrowers carrying balances, anyone focused on utilization, and people who can maintain on-time payments. Now, who are the people at risk? People with thin credit profiles, subprime borrowers, otherwise known as people with bad credit, anyone waiting until later to fix their credit, and people relying on approvals instead of preparation. This policy doesn't punish bad people, it punishes unprepared credit. Last part's the most important. I'm gonna leave you with my final message. If this goes through, it could be the biggest consumer credit relief in decades, a silent credit score booster, and a massive loss for banks, and a win for informed Americans. But only if you understand what's coming, because when rules change, the people who win are the ones who move first. Now make sure to drop a comment. Do you think the banks will comply or fight this aggressively? And if you made it this far, make sure to comment January 20th so I know you're paying attention. This is one of those moments people will look back on and say, I wish I understood this earlier. So make sure to stay alert. And if you have any collections, charge-offs, or negative items that you need to delete from your credit reports, make sure to watch this video right here, because it's gonna show you how AI will do all the work for you, mail your letters, and it comes with the 110% money back guarantee. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.